Good morning, everybody. My name is Brian Postal. I'm the Dean of the Rady Faculty of Health Sciences and Dean of the Max Rady College of Medicine. I'd like to welcome all of the alumni, faculty, staff, students, and guests to this virtual event in the hope that it's our last virtual alumni event, but of course we can't predict or control all of those issues. We'd like to start today by playing a short video giving some of the highlights of the Rady faculty in the last few years. A few years ago, we brought together 5 faculties into a single faculty with 5 colleges. It includes medicine, pharmacy, dentistry, rehab sciences, and nursing. The intent was really to try to improve and develop our educational experiences for students in an interdisciplinary format so that they would learn how to work with each other and what each profession brought to the standard of care for patients in Manitoba. For 50 years, this university, this medical school, has been providing care in Indigenous communities in northern Manitoba and Nunavut. And as we've taken in more Indigenous students into our college and faculty, we've developed education support roles so that to serve those students. So a few years ago, it became evident that it was time to pull those processes together into a single institute, and that became Angamazin. I've got very active research programs in all 5 colleges and within the 20 plus departments of the College of Medicine. So we've got a very wide spread of research interest and activity. All of our health professions, and perhaps in particular medicine, enjoy remarkable privileges in our society. And I think part of the expectation of how we return that favor, how we respect the privilege that we've been receiving, is to really acknowledge that social accountability, our ability to influence health care in broader perspectives and to set examples of professionalism and other areas, has been very important to us. Alumni from all of our colleges joining us today, and thank you for being here. As noted in the little presentation, we are working very hard to be responsible to the communities we serve. Some of that is trying to make our intake of students more representative of that community, and we've seen progress in all of the colleges in that regard. In medicine this year, we actually have for the first time 17 Indigenous students. And in fact, I think for the first time ever, we have a student population that proportionately actually represents the diversity of the community, with about 35% coming from visible minorities, 60% are women, and as we mentioned, 17 are Indigenous. As we've talked for years, and with the 50-year history that stems from the J.A. Hildes Northern Medical Unit, Angamazin has been remarkably active in responding to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission and has been steering our efforts as an entire faculty, and has taken a real key role in the management of COVID in First Nations communities. In fact, building and leading and coordinating rapid response teams that were assisting the needs of First Nations communities, and in managing and rolling out the entire vaccination program for 63 First Nations communities in Manitoba. In fact, had about 300 faculty, staff, and students sign up to participate in those rollouts and in the support of COVID. And I think that speaks to our social accountability agenda, which certainly has included building for Habitat for Humanity, the Swish basketball programs, the science programs for core area students, and many others. We also, in the last period of time, have published a disruption of all forms of racism policy, which was last August, and have been working aggressively to step up and step out against discrimination and racism in our own environment and in the community at large. We also have worked particularly hard to ensure that our learning environment for students is a positive and progressive one, and are now doing almost continuous learning environment assessments, and have set up several systems for students to be able to let us know if they are being treated in any way that could be seen as disrespectful. We have really supported and have been very pleased with the progress around a Women in Science Development Outreach and Mentoring program that's now been in place for a few years. And we, in fact, have seen women in our senior leadership roles really step up, so that our senior coordinating or management teams at both the faculty and College of Medicine level are predominantly now, where the majority of members sitting there are in fact women. We still have a way to go in terms of department heads. We've moved from 2 to 7 women as medical department heads, but clearly there's still room for improvement. As was mentioned, we've, as part of the reason for our faculties coming together into a single faculty, we've been working hard to develop interprofessional collaborative experiences for our students. They now join interprofessional cohorts in their first year and spend the first roughly 2 years working together on projects that will give them a better understanding of each other's roles and activities. And of course, we can't speak of the last year or 18 months without mentioning COVID, where our faculty and students have been remarkably resilient, moving on very short notice into new forms of distance teaching, new management of exam strategies, and at the same time seeing our students step up to volunteer in hospitals, at testing sites, and in support of healthcare colleagues. Our research continues to thrive, as was mentioned in that little presentation. We've significantly increased the number of research chairs in the faculty, and are now sitting very routinely at over $100 million of annual research activity going on. So although it's a difficult research environment, both in Manitoba and nationally, I think our researchers have been able to step up to the plate in all of the colleges, and we in fact have had considerable success recruiting new researchers who once again are stepping into the limelight as their programs develop. So I think to thank all of those who are on the call who participated in this COVID response. It's been essential to maintaining our educational programs and in protecting each other from the risks that have come with COVID. It's now a pleasure to introduce the President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. Michael Benarosh, who will bring greetings from the university.
Let me begin by welcoming each of you back to the University of Manitoba, though I do this virtually this year. It is wonderful to celebrate milestone reunions for alumni across the Rady Faculty of Health Sciences. I also want to acknowledge our special guests, an alumni from dentistry, dental hygiene, medicine, nursing, pharmacy, and rehabilitation sciences, for joining us today to celebrate your graduation and your connection to your alma mater. The health and safety of our University of Manitoba community is of paramount importance to us, and we appreciate opportunities to come together like this one, whatever they may look like. As alumni, working on the front lines of the COVID-19 pandemic, your dedication and commitment to your patients and clients has been inspiring to learners and trainees. We are proud of your accomplishments, and we will continue to celebrate your successes to come. Thank you for virtually coming back to UM. Homecoming is a time-honored annual UM tradition that brings everyone together to celebrate what it means to be part of the University of Manitoba community. Today, you will be hearing from Rady students and alumni, and I know that their reflections will highlight the impact their UM education has had on their careers, the bond our alumni have with one another, and their connection with U of M. We have a full week ahead of homecoming events, including a virtual concert, Indigenous homecoming, a Bison football game, and a conversation I will have with alumni Dr. Joss Reimer and Dr. Joanne Unger on From Pandemic to Endemic, What Does the Future Hold? I hope you will be able to join us for some of these UM-wide homecoming events. Thank you. Miigwech.
Thank you. It's now a pleasure to introduce Dr. Anastasia Kalekis-Cholakis as the Dean of the Dr. Gerald Nisnik College of Dentistry. Anastasia?
Good morning, President Benarosh, Dean Postal, and honored guest. Welcome to our virtual alumni event. I'm delighted to see quite a few familiar faces amongst you. This past year has been truly extraordinary and has been more than ever a testament to the dedication and ability and professionalism of the students, staff, and faculty at our college. Despite all the challenges the pandemic has brought our way, I have been truly amazed by the support of various stakeholders, and I wish to take this opportunity to acknowledge all involved in this effort. Our greatest accomplishment this year was to safely navigate 2 successive waves of the COVID-19 pandemic in Manitoba while continuing our operations without interruptions. Our dental hygiene and dentistry students graduated in June, having safely completed all their competencies. This past year, our didactic curriculum has fully transitioned online, our infection control guidelines were totally revised, and our clinics shifted to paperless workflows. The support of the Rady Faculty of Health Sciences and the university have been instrumental in this. Our clinical faculty and staff have worked tirelessly this past year, not only in person and online teaching, but at the same time drafting our strategic plan and preparing for accreditation in 2022. We have also started a comprehensive curriculum review. Our researchers, as Dr. Postal mentioned, have had a stellar year in terms of grants, and our laboratory renovations on the 3rd floor of our building are almost completed. In addition, thanks to some very generous donations, a digital workflow has been introduced in our preclinical and clinical labs. As well, for our dental students are now being able to scan and starting to mill their restorations in this upcoming year. Thanks to a very generous donation from Dr. Pope, we will also be launching our inaugural Elizabeth Tippett Pope Endowed Lectureship Series this November. I want to thank all the donors who have made all of the above possible. Under the leadership of Dr. Postal, all Rady Faculty of Health Sciences colleges have committed as a community to an anti-racism, EDI, and respectful working and learning environment. With Rady Faculty of Health Sciences and FINIB support, COVID-19, of course, permitting, we hope to start a pilot project of Northern Rotation and have our students visit our Churchill clinics again soon. The university is also supporting us in a comprehensive review of our capital needs so we can better plan for future upgrades of our clinical spaces. In conclusion, none of these accomplishments would be possible without the support of our staff, students, faculty, Faculty of Health Sciences, university, alumni, and donors. I wish to express my gratitude to all who have made this possible. Thank you again for joining us, and I wish all of you a healthy and happy upcoming academic year. I would now like to introduce our two guest speakers, Diane Girardin, a faculty member from the School of Dental Hygiene, and Arunava Ray Chaudhry, a fourth-year dental student from our International Dental Degree Program. Diane Girardin is a graduate of the School of Dental Hygiene at the University of Manitoba and has nearly 50 years of practice experience in preventive, orthodontic, pain management, and restorative techniques. She has recently retired after 28 years of teaching to both dental hygiene and dental students at the Dr. Gerald Nesnick College of Dentistry. She has served as the president of both the Manitoba Dental Hygienists Association and the Canadian Dental Hygienists Association, and as a reviewer for the College of Dental Hygienists of Manitoba's Continuing Competency Program. Arunava Ray Chaudhry graduated from dental school and worked as a hospital resident in Bangalore, India, before moving to Canada in 2015. He completed his training as a dental assistant in Canada and worked as such for a few years before joining our International Dental Degree Program in 2019. He is in the final year of his program. Thank you.
What an honor to welcome you all to Homecoming 2021. Our School of Dental Hygiene graduated its 56th class this spring, and it is great to see representatives from many past classes. We should be proud of this school. The education we received was tough because standards were and are high. We were at times pushed outside our comfort zone, but we certainly appreciate the results as its graduates are always in great demand. I come from an era where dental hygienists were considered allied auxiliaries. Our class was informed that the life expectancy for a dental hygienist was 5 years, and we were challenged at that time to prove ourselves and increase that number. Well, we adapted to new research and societal changes, and I am proud to say that we did exceed that, with some of us still working after 40, 45, and even 50 years. And that is mainly due to the school evolving to what it is today, a place to learn about the oral health of individuals and how it affects the whole body. There was a time when we had a job, then a career, and now we belong to an oral health profession. We were the girls who cleaned your teeth in the office. Now, males and females are identified as dental hygienists. And we don't only look at teeth anymore, but care for the whole body. We were regulated by the Manitoba Dental Association. Now we are a self-regulated oral health profession. We are part of the health system and on committees making decisions in the provision of oral health care to individuals in all kinds of settings. Our school has produced so many leaders, provincially and nationally, so many mentors, and so many change agents. We are second to none, and our graduates are well respected as healthcare providers and instructors in all parts of Canada and even the world. As graduates of this alma mater, let us celebrate the life we have gained from stepping through its doors. At this homecoming, enjoy the reconnect with friends and colleagues. And when you can, visit the college and the clinics. And be proud of our School of Dental Hygiene, proud of its accomplishments and its achievements. And also, please continue to support this great school of ours. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Chalakis, for the kind welcome and the introduction. My name is Arunava Rai Chaudhary. I am a final year student at Dr. Gerald College of Dentistry. It's my privilege to be able to speak here at the platform today as a part of Rady Faculty of Health Sciences, and also my privilege to be a part of Rady Faculty of Health Sciences. My journey, as Dr. Chalakis mentioned, my journey started with dental school in India at the age of 18. And I soon became more intrigued with the field as I put myself out there, and I started shadowing other senior dentists and assisted surgeons to experience as much as I could while I was still in my learning phases, which I still am. And it showed me how much there's to learn about oral care and what was missing in knowledge with the public. And I pursued myself to learn more, and which eventually ended up with me being here in Canada and in Dr. Gerald College of Dentistry. And as a student in the International Dentistry degree program, it's been an amazing journey since day one, from getting to know my peers and classmates and to knowing all the faculty and staff members and seeing how welcoming and accommodating everyone is. And that made my transition into the dental program very, very comfortable. When I was accepted into the program in 2019, I was, and like everyone, was unaware that a pandemic would run its course through the duration of the program. But what seemed impossible in the beginning was tackled exceptionally well by the faculties of all the colleges within Rady Faculty of Health Sciences, and Dr. Chalakis and the staff of Dr. Gerald College of Dentistry. And that enabled providing healthcare and continuing the education that we needed from the learning experience in the dental school was, as Dr. Chalakis mentioned, divided into online classes for the last 1.5 years. And it was a new experience for everybody. And there was so much to tackle, and it was handled so well. And the other component was the clinics, which we were also very fortunate to be able to attend and work on patients directly, as the school worked tirelessly and collaboratively towards the smooth running of the activities on campus during these times. And I was fortunate to learn some of the latest technologies like digital scanning and implants that have been used in the field right now. And it has, and that substantially improves patient care. And I hope to carry this knowledge with me as I move into my professional career. It's been a great experience learning from some of the best in the field in both dentistry and medicine. And I aspire to work and perform at the same superior level that University of Manitoba instills in the students. Also, I cannot go without mentioning the amount of support that Rady Faculty of Health Sciences has for the students and members, including staff, and it's remarkable how you're never left to feel lost, even though the last 1.5 years has taken us through paths that we have never seen before. It was the experiential opportunities that were presented to us earlier in the program. Most of them needed to be postponed or canceled due to the pandemic. But the resilience of the students and staff kept things together and kept it going. And they were still able to make the best out of what we had by organizing most of the events online. We have seen amazing mentorship opportunities which were made available to us for our growth during and after the program is completed. And it has shown me how much is needed in Canada. And hopefully after I graduate, I would be able to start working, and I plan to start working in some rural areas in Canada and see how the best of care I can bring to these places where it's most needed, and give the best to my profession. And I would once again like to thank everyone for having me here, letting me speak. And it's an honor to speak among all the amazing professionals here today. And I hope everyone has a safe and happy rest of the year. And thank you, and have a great day.
Thank you very much. It's great to see all of the alumni from medicine here, from the College of Medicine perspective. And we have members from reunion classes that are on their 10th, their 25th, their 40th, their 50th, and their 60th reunions. I'm now absolutely delighted to introduce Distinguished Professor Emeritus Dr. Alan Ronald of the class of 1961, a renowned University of Manitoba infectious disease researcher who's had many recognitions, including as a Canadian Medical Hall of Fame laureate. In 1980, he established one of the first clinical investigation units exploring sexually transmitted infections in Africa. It started small, but eventually would put the University of Manitoba on the map as a leader in the field of HIV epidemiology and immunology, as well as improving disease prevention or disease preventive programs and care of patients. His class has really generously donated, and he's now going to share some of his insights of his last many years of exemplary service. Alan?
Thank you, Dean Postel. Greetings, fellow alumni. We are delighted that you've joined us virtually to reminisce on our years in this faculty. My medical class, as we heard, is celebrating our 60 years since graduation. We had fabulous teachers who launched us in 1957 to become competent caring physicians. Professors Joseph Dope, Ian Thompson, Mark Nickerson, Harry Medavy, our Dean Lennox Bell, and many others, all committed to establishing a foundation on which we were to build our careers and become what Canada and Manitoba needed to prevent illness and restore health. Some of us scattered to complete our postgraduate studies or find a better climate, but many of us stayed in Manitoba. Those of us who wish to become scientists, become academics, were expected to have research skills as well as be good teachers and role models. I returned in '68 thanks to Professors Jack Will and Lionel Israels, who hoped that I would learn something. I had learned something as an infectious disease trainee in Baltimore and Seattle and would improve care for serious infections. Infections globally at that time were causing about 10 million deaths each year, and this was before the pandemics of HIV or COVID. This medical school, thanks to Dean Neymar and other visionaries, enabled us to create a program and recruit across Canada, and over the next 40 years, populate Canada with over 100 ID and microbiology skilled caregivers. In the 1970s, we had a major outbreak in Winnipeg of an ugly ulcerating disease called chancroid. And as a result, we were invited to Kenya, where this disease was rampant. With Dr. Margaret Fast and our host, Professor Herbert Nzanzi, we learned about the illness and soon learned that AIDS was also arriving in Kenya and becoming rampant. With others, we focused our research on understanding the epidemiology and control of this horrific new virus. The University of Manitoba was recognized for the excellence of the science, and 80 individuals developed research and HIV care skills. Kenyans, Canadians, Indians, Americans, Brits, and others. We still have a long ways to go, but we are now welcome in most countries as dependable, valued colleagues from Winnipeg. Dr. Frank Plummer and his family made Kenya their home for 13 years, and he, with the Kenyans, became the world experts in the epidemiology and pathophysiology of the HIV virus and its complications. His colleague, Dr. Stephen Moses, confirmed the importance of the foreskin in the transmission of HIV, and this was identified by Time magazine as the most important health discovery of that year. Thanks to Professor Henry Friesen, our government established a National Microbiology Lab here in Winnipeg. In 1991, I was asked to evaluate the University of Hong Kong ID program. I found it to be excellent and well prepared for the next pandemic, which turned out to be SARS in 1991, which was well contained in Hong Kong by our Hong Kong colleagues. The University of Manitoba, during the tenure of Presidents Neymar, South Marion Barnard, with their combined 37 years of leadership, were great enablers. They sometimes joined us in our annual retreat in Nairobi, and they took pride in our university's role in improving global health. Finally, with the leadership of Dean Brian Polstow, we saw major changes in our faculty with a commitment to diversity, equity, and human rights. As he completes his term, we owe him our gratitude for what he's achieved for all of us. My thanks to the wonderful colleagues who I've been privileged to work with alongside at the University of Manitoba. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Ronald. It's now a pleasure to introduce the Dean of the College of Nursing, Dr. Neetha Dick.
Thank you, Dr. Polstow, and good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Rady Alumni event. I extend a special welcome to the alumni of the College of Nursing, who are celebrating anniversaries ranging from 8 years all the way to 51 years. So thank you very much for coming. I'm delighted to have this opportunity to connect with you today and provide an update on what is happening in the College of Nursing. While most of our programming continued to be delivered remotely during this past year, our skills labs were offered on campus in person, and most of our in-person simulation was actually converted to virtual simulation by our innovative simulation team. This proved to be invaluable as students were able to make up clinical hours missed due to outbreaks with virtual simulation. With the exceptional work of our leaders, faculty, staff, and clinical partners, students were able to progress in their studies and complete the program, resulting in the convocation of 237 graduates from our Bachelor of Nursing program and 28 from our graduate programs. Not surprisingly, these graduates are employed and are making a significant difference in the delivery of quality care and in addressing the growing nursing shortage in the province. I would also like to acknowledge their remarkable work in the administration of COVID-19 vaccination clinics. I received many phone calls and emails of appreciation for their exceptional work from the public and from our nursing colleagues. In response to requests from government for a program expansion proposal to assist in addressing the growing nursing shortage, the university submitted a provisional proposal that would see an increase in the number of seats in the Bachelor of Nursing program and accelerate the delivery of the program. This proposal is currently under review. It was with pride that we commemorated noteworthy milestones despite the pandemic. We celebrated the achievement of accreditation status of our Bachelor of Nursing program, including the University College of the North Collaborative Cohort in DePauw and Thompson. We achieved the maximum 7-year accreditation. We also celebrated the achievement of accreditation of our nurse practitioner program, and were among the first in Canada with this distinction. Our doctoral program is continuing to grow. Last year, we admitted our largest class of 10 students since the program's inception in 2013, and including 3 faculty from Red Deer College in Alberta. We're proud of our 9 graduates from the program to date, and our first PhD graduate with an Indigenous ancestry, Dr. Vanessa Van Buer, is now our first Indigenous assistant professor in the College of Nursing. We were thrilled to finally launch our brand new Bachelor of Midwifery program in September. Our 6 students are so excited to be in the program and grateful to have the opportunity to complete their midwifery education in Manitoba, close to home. Our program is designed to prepare competent graduates to provide culturally appropriate midwifery services, particularly in Indigenous and Northern communities. The college's Manitoba Centre for Nursing and Health Research continues to provide exceptional support to our faculty and students in their engagement in research. Over the past 5 years, our 28 researchers have received more than $10 million in research funding and have published more than 400 articles. Their research is contributing to better quality care, better patient outcomes, and better quality of life. We established a unique position in collaboration with Health Sciences Centre, the HSC Clinical Chair. Filled by Dr. Diana McMillan, this position leverages the synergy between academia and research and facilitates the implementation of clinical nursing research across both organizations. Over our rich 78-year history, the College of Nursing has prepared more than 10,000 nurses and nurse leaders. It was most inspiring to connect with our alumni during Nursing Week in the production of a video entitled, "Where Are They Now?" and to hear their compelling stories about their unique contribution in providing quality healthcare and advancing the profession of nursing. We are immensely grateful for the generosity of our alumni and their investment in our college and in our students. Our students have benefited greatly from their guest lectures and the scholarships and bursaries they have made available to our students. I also extend my deep gratitude for their excellence, the excellence and dedication and resilience of our amazing College of Nursing team. We are proud to continue to educate the finest future nursing professionals. And now I'm very pleased to introduce Dr. Tara Horrell, an experienced registered nurse who is an alumnus of our Bachelor of Nursing program in 2005 and who complicated from our PhD in nursing program this past June. A stellar student, Tara received numerous honors and awards throughout her program. Most recently, she is the first recipient of the new Dr. Shannon Dawn Scott Prize for Excellence in Nursing Research. This was established by an alumnus of the College of Nursing. Currently, Tara is a postdoctoral fellow with the University of British Columbia School of Nursing and the Nursing and Allied Health Research and Knowledge Translation Unit at BC Cancer. Her research takes a critical approach to investigating health inequities within the context of the cancer care system, with a particular focus on equitable access to cancer care. So Tara, I now invite you to make your remarks.
Good morning. Thank you for that lovely introduction. As Dr. Dick mentioned, my name is Tara Horrell, and I'm a very proud graduate of the College of Nursing's doctoral program, as well as an alumna of the Bachelor of Nursing program, graduating in 2005. It is my privilege to be able to take a few minutes to tell you a bit about my experiences in the doctoral program at the College of Nursing. Although the program is still relatively young, it offers an outstanding educational experience to nurses who are pursuing advanced research training. I began in the program in 2016 after 11 years of clinical practice, which was primarily in the area of oncology nursing. Our coursework in the program included training in quantitative and qualitative research methods, knowledge translation, health policy, and philosophy of science. Because of my clinical background in oncology nursing and nursing's roots in social justice aims, I chose to focus my dissertation research specifically on the topic of equitable access to oncology care among Indigenous peoples in Canada. And this was really in direct response to some of the issues I was seeing in my nursing practice. My research highlighted many of the barriers faced by Indigenous peoples when attempting to access care for a potential or an actual cancer diagnosis, and how these barriers tend to have a compounding effect that can result in delayed diagnosis and treatment. It was also clear in my findings that a lack of culturally safe care and experiences of racism are still significant, and that they create and sustain challenges in accessing oncology care among Indigenous peoples. It was quite a challenge to complete my research in the midst of a pandemic, but throughout my studies, I have been supported by an incredible advisory committee that included Dr. Zanette Schultz, Donna Martin, and Jose Lavoie, all from the Rady Faculty of Health Sciences. But beyond my advisory committee, I've also benefited tremendously from the support and mentorship of other faculty from within the College of Nursing and initiatives that ensure that I have been a part of a community of graduate students and faculty members. For example, I had several opportunities as a graduate student in which I was funded to attend research conferences with a group of other graduate students and faculty from the College of Nursing. And these were tremendously rich experiences that allowed me to develop mentorship and research relationships and network with scholars from around the world. Because of this strong foundation I've laid during my time at the University of Manitoba and the research networks developed, I have had the opportunity to present and discuss my research in a number of unique settings. This spring, I was invited to speak at the Parliamentary Health Research Caucus in an event that engages parliamentarians to raise awareness about the latest health research and innovations. This was quite an honor and allowed me to speak about my research and the implications directly to those who make or influence policy decisions about health and healthcare. As I have transitioned out of graduate school, I began working on a research project at the BC Cancer Agency with a group of clinicians and scientists who are looking to move a health equity agenda forward within the cancer care sector in BC. And as that work comes to a close, I'm very fortunate to have recently begun a postdoctoral fellowship at the University of British Columbia, funded by the Michael Smith Foundation for Health Research. In this fellowship, I will build on my doctoral research to investigate health inequities within the context of the cancer care system, with a particular focus on how cancer services could be made more equity-oriented to improve cancer outcomes for those who are disadvantaged. I'm very excited to start this important work, and I know that because of my experiences and education at the University of Manitoba, I'm well prepared to take on this new role. I'm quite passionate about issues of health equity and social justice, and my aim is to someday continue this work back in Manitoba and at the University of Manitoba, and to be able to make a difference in the lives of Manitobans. Thank you again for the opportunity to share my experiences with you here today. It's been an honor and a pleasure to celebrate homecoming with so many alumni.
Thank you both. It's now a pleasure to introduce Dr. Lalitha Raman-Wilms, Dean of the College of Pharmacy, and pharmacy alumni Sherry Dick, 1996. Lalitha?
Thank you, Dr. Postal. Good morning, everyone. A warm welcome to all of our alumni from the Rady Faculty of Health Sciences, and a special welcome to our pharmacy alumni who are attending today's event. We have graduates from the class of 2011 who are celebrating their 10-year reunion. Congratulations. We also have alumni from the classes of 1996, 1971, and 1970. Congratulations to alumni from these classes who are celebrating their 25-year, 50-year, and 51-year milestones. Our alumni have continued to do the important work of contributing to patient care in Manitoba. Many have taken on significant leadership roles, and many have also continued to give back to the profession and to the college as preceptors and by supporting us in many ways. On behalf of our students in our college, thank you for your ongoing support of our programs. I'd like to take a few moments to share some highlights from the College of Pharmacy. This past year has been like no other, as we've all had to navigate the ever-changing circumstances of the pandemic. Our faculty and staff at the college have had a busy year as we've continued to build on our teaching, research, and service responsibilities while mostly working from home. As you may know, we started the PharmD, or Doctor of Pharmacy program, in 2019. We've now successfully implemented year 2 of the program, and the implementation of year 3 of the curriculum is well underway. We have a significantly expanded program that include enhanced clinical courses, new areas such as pharmacogenomics and pharmacoeconomics, and a wide range of integrated experiential learning opportunities during the 4th year. This year, we met our goal of offering at least 20% of our rotations outside of Winnipeg. Our students benefited from this through practice experiences in primary care, in rural and in northern Manitoba, as well as in Indigenous communities. We will aim to continue to increase rotations outside of Winnipeg so that our students are well prepared to serve the needs of all Manitobans. Many pharmacists in the province told us that they would be interested in undertaking a bridging program to the PharmD degree. With this in mind, we're building a program that will be flexible and provide individual courses in modular format. This will enable pharmacists to take specific courses, such as advanced therapeutics or personalized medicine, to enhance their practice to the next level, or combine modules towards a PharmD degree. We're excited about this new initiative and look forward to your ongoing input in this process. Throughout this pandemic year, our students' experience has continued to be our main priority. With the support of our donors and friends of our college, we've increased the number of available scholarships and bursaries. We have created a leadership seminar series that's offered as a co-curricular initiative to our PharmD as well as to our graduate students. Through our close collaborative work with the other health science colleges, we continue to expand on interprofessional education where all of our students are learning together and from each other. As a group, our colleges have worked on some significant and important initiatives, including our policies related to equity, diversity, and inclusion, and our anti-racism policy. These speak to our faculty's commitment to creating safe and productive places for our learners and our communities. This has been a milestone year for the College of Pharmacy, with our last cohort graduating with a bachelor's degree in June 2021. For some of our alumni who have joined us today, the college's home and the Bannatyne campus will be new. For our 2011 graduates, you'd have likely been in the Apotex Center where the college is housed during your final year. As we slowly open our campus over the next few months, I look forward to the opportunity to meet our alumni in person. As conditions allow, please come by for a visit and a tour of the college and to meet our students. And at this time, I would like to introduce one of our alumna, Sherry Dick, who will share her experiences as a graduate from our program. Sherry started her program at the University of Manitoba in 1992, graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy in 1996. She then completed a hospital pharmacy residency at the Health Sciences Center and began her career at St. Boniface Hospital, working in various roles. Sherry is currently the pharmacy manager at St. Boniface Hospital. She's worked and collaborated with many pharmacy groups during her career, including the College of Pharmacists of Manitoba and the Canadian Society of Hospital Pharmacists. Sherry Dick has been recognized with several awards, including the Canadian Society of Hospital Pharmacists Manitoba Branch Continuing Education Travel Grant in 2018, the Bodhi Jaworski Award in 2014, and as part of her team, the 2011 Management and Leadership Best Practices Award for the development and implementation of a regional program for the safe handling of hazardous drugs by hospital pharmacists. Sherry has worked tirelessly to enhance the role of both pharmacists and pharmacy technicians in the hospital setting. Sherry is a strong supporter of our college and of our students. I now welcome Sherry to share her reflections and experiences.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Dean Roman Wilms. It's an honor to be on this virtual stage with my fellow alumni from the Rady Faculty of Health Sciences. Thank you for the invitation to share a few words on behalf of the pharmacy alumni. I entered the U of M in 1992 when the College of Pharmacy was still the Faculty of Pharmacy and located on the Fort Garry campus. I graduated with my BSc Pharm 25 years ago. It was an exciting time because the program was changing, and I was part of the first class of a new 5-year program, which was 1 year pre and 4 years in pharmacy. Prior to then, the program was 4 years, 1 pre and 3 in pharmacy. Being in the first class of a new program with new curriculum did have its challenges, and on many occasions, we were referred to as the guinea pigs as we went through new courses and curriculum for the first time. We were a smaller than usual class, which resulted in us being very close-knit. 40 students were enrolled initially, and the normal at that time was 50, and 30 of us graduated together in 1996. The atmosphere at the faculty at that time was very positive and engaging, as we were told over and over that the profession was changing and the role of the pharmacist was evolving and advancing to be more clinically focused with less emphasis on medication and technical tasks. We had a wonderful faculty that taught us the essentials and challenged us to continue to develop the pharmacist role and our contribution to the healthcare team and system. Changes to the curriculum at that time included new anatomy and physiology courses, which were our first connections to the Faculty of Medicine. We actually went to the Bannatyne campus for our anatomy class. We focused on developing our communication skills to improve our interactions with patients. Development of problem-solving skills was highlighted, which I didn't appreciate at the time, but I certainly do now. Learning about pharmaceutical care, which was a comprehensive process for evaluating a patient's medication therapy, was highlighted. And we had longer experiential rotations. I have very fond memories of my time at the University of Manitoba and recognize that the education we received prepared me and my classmates for very rewarding careers. A lot has changed at the university and within the pharmacy profession over the past 25 years. The Faculty of Pharmacy became the College of Pharmacy under the Rady Faculty of Health Sciences and moved to the Bannatyne campus into a new, larger building with state-of-the-art facilities. The curriculum continued to evolve and align with the expanding role of the pharmacist on the healthcare team, which includes greater clinical contribution, roles in primary care, administering injections, and prescribing in certain situations. The program is now at another pivotal point of change with the first class of the new entry-level PharmD more than halfway through the program, as the Dean mentioned. The entry-level PharmD program has been in development for many years, so it's very rewarding for our entire profession to see this milestone come to fruition. I can say from personal experience that the caliber of students coming out of the College of Pharmacy is exceptional. Over the years, I have had the pleasure of precepting students on rotations, and more recently in my current role, recruiting new pharmacists for our hospital team. Spending time with students and new pharmacists as they start their career is always inspiring and reminds me of how I felt 25 years ago. They reinforce my pride in our profession and our important role within the healthcare system. They are idealistic and eager to become contributing members of a collaborative healthcare team and are very prepared to do so, which is attributed to the excellent program at the College of Pharmacy. One thing I did not fully appreciate when I was in school was the importance of the interprofessional team. Of course, I knew we'd be working with other healthcare professionals, but we really didn't learn about or truly understand everyone's role and how integrated our work would be. I quickly learned that on the job when I started my career at St. Boniface Hospital, so I'm pleased to see that interprofessional education is now part of the curriculum. My role at the hospital has provided me with the opportunity to stay connected with the College of Pharmacy, and I'm proud to be able to collaborate with the college on the interprofessional and experiential education committees. Offering the current pharmacy students valuable experiential rotations is very important to me and my team because we know we're helping to support the future of our profession, and seeing their enthusiasm rejuvenates our engagement in our role and profession. It's important for me to continue to give back to the organization that sent me on my professional journey. I'm excited about the new PharmD program and the future of pharmacy in Manitoba. In addition to my professional connection with the University of Manitoba, I have a new personal one. My son just started his second year of studies at the U of M, and I'm hoping this year he'll actually get to set foot on campus. He is not taking a science path, but my daughter, who is in grade 12 this year, is strongly considering a nursing career and plans to study at the U of M as well. I'm proud to share the U of M with my children and hope that their experiences are as positive and rewarding as mine were. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd now like to introduce Dr. Reg Urbanowski, the Dean of the College of Rehab Sciences. Reg?
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to all the alumni, especially those from the College of Rehabilitation Sciences. We have a video that we're going to be showing, and it's about some of the innovations that I think that we're headed into in the College of Rehab Sciences. And I just want to share with you what this is about and why we're doing this. We're building an apartment that's fully sensorized in the third floor of the Rehabilitation Sciences Hospital, which is on HSC grounds. And it's going to contain many things that are sort of groundbreaking. It's not the actual space that's important, it's who's involved. One of the things that's become abundantly clear for us is that to move ahead in the developments of helping people live an active daily life is we need to work together with other professions. And so this is actually a project that we've been working with the faculties of architecture, biomedical engineering, computer science, and engineering on. And we are hoping that it will be finished within the next 6 to 8 weeks. We've had the very good fortune of being able to have some donations from companies who have donated some of the equipment and some of their expertise by flying in teams to help us design this apartment. And what it's going to do, I think, is to bring clinicians involved in this process as well. So we'll be able to remotely connect with clinicians, regardless of where you are in Manitoba, and use some of this assessment processes that we're learning here to be able to help your clients as we move along. And in this whole process, we're getting into the idea of a smart home. We all know about Alexas and Googles, but how does that work with clients who are in rehab? Another feature that we're having in innovation is how do we create opportunities for rehabilitation using remote technologies? Here we have a robotic hand that we would be able to connect with remotely for people who have to have some hand therapy in certain positions. Here we have the capacity to look at motion and to be able to sense motion. And sensors have been around for a long time, and they generate all of this data, and it just goes on and on and on. The key to having this motion data is how do you translate it into something that's very meaningful, that is useful for a therapist. And so we're working with a university in Amsterdam to take all of this information as it rolls along and be able to translate that information into a grade 1, a grade 2, or a grade 3 level of activity, so that when the therapist phones somebody and says, we've been monitoring you and we've set up these, they're like little $40 monitors that we can set up. And through the process of translation of the data, you could actually say, well, you've been using this in this particular way, right? We are hoping that this data and these kinds of things that we're working on are actually going to be able to help people as they move through rehabilitation. And with our focus on rural remote and being able to provide services to people who are in rural remote locations or who are not available or accessible to therapists, how do we get that service out to them? And so we have made a special initiative to look at telehealth, telemonitoring, and telepresence. We now have a project to look at how we could use telepresence robots in healthcare. All of this is intended to assist people in Manitoba so it has that practical application to the clinical field. And you know what? I think the COVID-19 has promoted, I think, that need to reach out beyond the telephone, beyond this kind of a video conferencing, and to challenge us to use technology in a different way so that therapists can reach out to people and provide the services they need to enable them to live in the community longer. And, one of our groups now that we have formed is to look at the long haul effects of COVID-19. And they're not only using the technologies that I've just talked about, but many of the others, but also beginning to look at how do people live with the long-term effects of COVID-19 as it has been brought up. And I think the other impact that it has had for us in COVID-19 is in rural remote areas is we do not have the geographical distribution that we need in this province for COVID-19 and having the therapists in the right places at the right time. But you know what? It's been fascinating to look at, especially respiratory therapy in this time. And that brings me, I think, to the point where I would like to introduce Lacey Nakonechny, who is a respiratory therapist, who's a recent graduate of ours and is now working in Thompson, Manitoba. And so, Lacey, maybe you could just share your experiences graduating early and what it means to be working in Thompson.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Lacey Nakonechny, and as Reg announced, I am a recent graduate from the College of Rehabilitation Sciences with a Bachelor of Respiratory Therapy. It is my pleasure to speak on behalf of the College of Rehabilitation students and speak about my experience here at the U of M over the last 5 years. Prior to my respiratory therapy program, I've had several opportunities being involved within the Fort Garry campus as a student ambassador, as well as a recipient of the Indigenous Leader of Tomorrow Scholarship. I believe this achievement has provided me with opportunities to become more involved within the university, such as attending events, developing secure relationships within the faculties, and being able to provide support to individuals transitioning into the University of Manitoba from secondary school. Once being accepted into the faculty of the respiratory program in 2018, I became quickly comfortable within the Bannatyne campus as well as within the faculty. Being a part of our college is something I am very grateful for and to be a very member of. Not only do they advocate for students, but they push us to excel within our careers. During my second year within the faculty, about to head into our second year clinical experience, much uncertainty came with the announcement of COVID-19 that left us with the remainder of the years within the hands of the directors and the deans on the next steps of how to proceed within our program. So we've got word that COVID-19 was happening and potentially was unsafe for students to be going into the clinical facilities, being St. Boniface, HSC, mainly where our placements were happening. At the time, we were pulled out for time to have a decision to make for our safe return for our students. The school did an excellent job advocating for education in order for us to return back to the clinical sites to help us with this awful battle on the front lines. Being a vital part of this pandemic, I believe that our education has actually been enhanced to the research that has been done during the pandemic, such as the new changes to the PPE. I feel like that has made our profession very safe being involved of a lot of the aerosol generating medical procedures. I think that as a respiratory therapist, I think many of those implementations have made our faculty and as well as our profession really important to us. It was very interesting being a part of being a student in the middle of a pandemic. It's an experience that not many other people get to experience. I'm very grateful, although it was a very tough way to go about being a student. I think that it actually has enhanced our program, has enhanced the way we look at things and the way that we develop education. Going virtual for quite some time with our classes, I think that we've been able to develop more ways to deliver education to students. Me being from Thompson, Manitoba, I had to move into the city to attend school. So I think opening that up to virtual has really opened the borders up to other individuals struggling to maybe move to a city to attend school. So hoping with that, that our program is able to expand and develop based on a virtual program as well, to maybe get more communities involved in that as well. So I was actually fortunate enough to do many of my placements up in Thompson, Manitoba, as well as Portage la Prairie. I was able to attend Thompson, Manitoba here and then develop a secure job after graduation, where I'm currently working right now, battling the COVID-19 pandemic. My experience at the U of M has been absolutely fantastic. I would recommend it to everyone. We definitely do have a very good thing going on with the College of Rehabilitation Sciences, and I'm very proud to be an alumni member now, now that I can say that I'm an official graduate. So we were able to fully push our program and end on time, being able to write the CBRC national examination on time and get working. We were graduated early as a mechanism to get us all working and we all had secure jobs during the pandemic. So able to finish school, graduate early. One day I showed up for my shift and I wore my burgundy scrubs that I was assigned to. And the next day I got an email saying, "You are officially a respiratory therapist. Go start working." And the next day we were all employed working, fighting the pandemic. And our entire class has passed the CBRC exam, and we're all full registered respiratory therapists. So I'm working in Thompson, Manitoba right now, and I would like to thank everybody on behalf of my graduating class, my previous and future classes, as well as the University of Manitoba, for an exceptional experience at the U of M that I am very grateful for and hope to pass it on to other individuals looking forward to the respiratory program.
Thank you very much. I think there is an opportunity for a few questions. I know it's a bit clumsy through a virtual format, but feel free to send in questions, and we'll answer them as best we can. You might also address who you'd like to answer the question.
Alana has opened it up and asked anybody if they wanted questions, but we haven't seen any yet.
Okay, well, we'll just give a minute and then we'll close the proceedings. All right, I think we'll move to closure. Thank you all for joining us today. We are all hopeful, of course, that next year's cycle will bring an in-person homecoming, and I think we will all be working as best we can to be successful in that regard. So have a safe visit if you're in Winnipeg, and certainly have a safe year until next we meet again. Thank you.